Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Stitch Bliss Corner. Marie Rose here. It could be called amateur hour today because I'm going to attempt to show you my method of couching. Now I'm going to start out with a video I did on my mobile phone and bear with it for a while, and I will try to explain myself better once I've shown you this. Okay. See if I can get this going. A tech nut I am not. Right, here's a letter. If I can get it going. Just a moment. I don't edit, you see. Maybe I should start. Okay, now I'm sorry about this shadow along the top here. I've tried to rig up my mobile phone to take this video, and it's really just to show you how you can control your thread with your thumb. Now I've started this at the back there just with a few stitches, and I'm just going to show you the way you can control that thread with your thumb. Okay, so I'll just put this stitch in here from underneath. Then you can roll that across and put your needle back in the same hole. And you can pull it a little bit if you want it to be a bit straighter. Then back up again. It's very difficult to do this. My fingers feel like they've taken on the properties of sausages. Anyway, so thread through, back through into the same hole. Then back up again. See how you can just roll that thread backwards and forwards as you bring the needle through. You can just roll the thread across. And if you're outlining something, it's quite a joy in that movement. And that's what I can't show you when I'm doing the other part of this video, when I'm doing the leaf. But this is just to give you the technique. I know it's jumping about a bit, but I'm sure you've all got the idea by now. I'm just going to persist till I get to the corner here of this letter, just to show you how you can go around a corner. This won't be the every 2 stitches because this happens to fall on a single, but it doesn't really matter. There, so we've got our line there, and you can pull on that. Then there's the corner of the letter there. I'm just putting an extra little stitch in there into the same hole as before. I'm sorry. I'll just do that. I won't put you through this purgatory much longer. I'm just just want to get to this edge just to show you that you can bring your thumb down there and you have perfect control over where that thread goes. This is a bit awkward because I'm trying to look at the camera and do this at the same time, but as you can imagine, if you just got it on your lap there, it's very easy. There's the corner. Okay. And that is the backstitch version. And that's the couching version, which I find to be very, well, I find it to be straighter looking, and it's so much more easy when you're going around a letter. Right, I don't think any Hollywood director is going to be calling on my services. But anyway, I'll show you again. I laboriously went round that one doing the back stitching last night, and then this is the one that I did this morning. And of course, when you're doing the line of the lettering and you just do little loops, it really does give a different look. Okay, so I've done black around there. I think we can go on to the leaf now, with the consideration that when you're doing a leaf or going round a flower, you're probably going to use the same colour, or a darker colour I should say, of the leaf that you have. So it won't be black anyway. So that looks even better when you've got a tone that you like. Okay, so anyway, and I suppose you noticed too that with the lettering I didn't actually cross stitch. That's just coloured fabric pen. And so I did the same with the leaf that I've got to show you. Now I've already backstitched that one, and I just did a little bit of, basically it's a drawing, and there's a little bit of green on there just to give it a bit of shape. And this is the one that we're going to do the couching on. And I'm hoping that because I've shown you the technique on the letter, that this won't be quite as confusing, because I'm going to try and do it this way up, because I find it very awkward trying to do it under a camera. Alright, so I've just prepared a needle here, and what I do when I'm starting my couching is I start with a loop stitch. So here we have the loop and there. So I mean, all you do is you, naturally enough, you put your two ends together, the raw ends. That's the bit you put through the needle. Then you make sure that your loop is longer than the ones you've just put through the needle, so that when you come to do your starting stitch, your loop is ready to go. So normally I would start in the back of the cross stitches, because this would all be cross stitches normally, but of course this is just fabric pen. So I'm going to say that where your loop starts, you don't see it, but in this case you will see a little bit of it, because I'm just going to start on the edge with my loop. So what I do is I go through, I approach from the bottom. Where are we? bottom there, put the needle in, right. Well, in this case it'll be at the bottom, but it'll be the bottom of the cross stitch on the other side. Bring that down, and as you can see there's a loop there, so you put your needle through the loop and that's where your start is. Then I bring my needle through to the other side for starting. So now I have the 2 threads there, and I take 1 thread off the needle, which I will just do that, and I'll show it to you in a moment. Right. So there's 1 thread on the needle and 1 thread off. Just get this straightened out. When you first bring the 2 threads through, you might find that it's a bit twisted up where it's coming through, so you make sure that you've got rid of that twist. Right, so now you have 2 threads, one that is hanging down like that, the other one is on your needle. So now that needle needs to go to the back, so you just take it straight through where you first came in. And you have 1 thread at the front and the other one is at the back there. Okay, so this is where you're going round a bend. Now in this case I want to go round a curve, just there, so I'll probably use that little spot there as a guide. So I'll probably put my finger there, and then I will start my loop stitches, which you come in from the back and you pick where you want your loop stitches to be. They can be anywhere you like. Okay, so according to how closely you want it to anchor to the fabric. So here I've brought it through the hole there. I'm going across, I'm putting it in back into the same hole. Right. Then I'll go down a bit further to another part of the curve. Go through again, and you can see where that gentle curve is starting to develop there. And you really do have all the control you want over that top thread, which is rather wonderful in itself, isn't it? So I'm probably doing slightly bigger gaps than I normally would. It's really just so that you're not sitting there watching something thinking, I can do that right now. I don't need to watch anymore, which is fine if you've got the idea. That's all I wanted to get across, because I had an inquiry from Jilly Pepper was one, and Sandy, that's right, Sandy Marks asked me. I thought that was very kind of them to take notice of what I was doing. So anyway, that's that there. And I'm now going to just go to the other side of this leaf, where there is a, well, see, there's a more jagged area there. I call it jagged. And just to show you can do the same thing, but I'm sure you've got the message well and truly by now. Don't need me to tell you. Once again, we have the 2 threads there from our start, and I'm going to take 1 thread off. Make sure that I untwist it, which you can do in a trice when it's on your lap, of course. That's untwisted. And then the looping thread goes through to the back. I've managed to pull the thread off the needle, but it's a big needle, so it's easily falling out. Okay, so here's our top thread once again. And we'll just do the same thing. Don't know if you can hear that bird, they're out in force again today. But I can assure you that you look forward to the outlining of something, rather than thinking, oh, it's nearly finished, but I've got 1001 back stitches to do. Now you know you don't, if you choose to go that way. We're nearly finished here. If you'll just forgive me for a moment, I'll just do it this way, just for speed. Now I know why they say on those shows, here's one I prepared earlier. And this top thread, you can pull it a little bit if you feel that it's not quite as smooth as you'd like. And another thing you can do, the reason why that's a bit straight there is because it probably needs a few little stitches in there to go with the curve. You know, like when you're doing something with paper, you're lining something and you need to go around a curve, you do some little snips with the scissors so that it'll fit round a bend. Well, it's the same principle with going round a bend or a curve in stitching. You probably need some more anchoring loops to get you round the curve. And I thought I'd just show you the comparison here from the back stitch one I did last night. Now, there's nothing wrong with that one. I think it's quite Art Nouveau-ish, so it does have its place with certain styles. If you're doing something Art Nouveau, I think that would fit perfectly into an Art Nouveau piece. But if you want something that's a little bit more gentle, I don't think you can go past couching on the edge of a leaf or anything else. As I say, that's looking a bit more angular than I would like, but that's because I can't really put it on my lap and do it the way I usually do it. I'm sorry about the lighting today, it seems to have gone absolutely crazy. That's all I have to show you today. I thought I had something else I could probably show you next time. Yeah, I'll be rattling around on the video with that noise. Alright, well, I hope that's helped Sandy and Chili Pepper, and I'm sorry about my lack of technical skills. I hope I've got the point across. There are some professional videos that you can get on the internet to show you couching. I just thought I'd show you my particular method, and I'll see you again next time on Stitch Bliss Corner. Bye for now.